The story of the Greek gods begins long before Zeus ever raised his thunderbolt. Imagine a time before mountains or seas, before anything we know. There was only chaos, a swirling, empty void. From this nothingness, two great forces emerged: Gaia, the earth, strong and nurturing, and Eros, the primal force of love and attraction that would bind all things together. Gaia then gave birth to Uranus, the sky, who became her husband. Together, they created the Titans, the first generation of mighty, powerful beings. But Uranus, their father, was disgusted by his own children. He feared their strength and locked them away deep within the earth, inside Gaia herself. Gaia's heart broke with sorrow and rage. She couldn't bear to see her children in prison. So, she forged a great, curved sickle and gave it to her youngest and most ambitious son, Cronus. That night, when Uranus descended to lie with Gaia, Cronus sprang from his hiding place. He took the sickle and struck his father, severing his connection to the earth forever. From the blood that fell upon the sea, a beautiful goddess was born, rising from the foam, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. With Uranus overthrown, the age of the Titans began. Cronus freed his siblings from their prison and took his place as the new king of the cosmos, ruling alongside his sister and wife, Rhea. But a dark prophecy haunted Cronus, just as fear had haunted his father. It was foretold that one of his own children would overthrow him. Consumed by this dread, Cronus devised a terrible solution. As each of his children was born, he devoured them whole. First Hestia, then Demeter, then Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, all swallowed by their father to prevent the prophecy from coming true. Rhea was heartbroken. Desperate to save her next child, she sought help from her mother, Gaia. When her final child, Zeus, was born, Rhea secretly hid him away on the island of Crete. She then wrapped a large stone in swaddling clothes and presented it to Cronus, who, suspecting nothing, swallowed it just as he had his children. Raised by gentle nymphs and protected by Gaia, Zeus grew up hidden from his father's sight, becoming strong, wise, and powerful. When he came of age, he knew it was time to face his father and free his siblings. He returned to the Titan court and, through a clever trick, forced Cronus to regurgitate his brothers and sisters. Out they came, fully grown and furious. This act of liberation sparked a war that would shake the very foundations of creation. The Titanomachy, a brutal 12-year battle between the new gods and the old Titans. The war raged on, with neither side gaining an advantage, but Zeus knew of other beings imprisoned by the Titans. He descended into the depths of the earth and freed the Cyclopes and the 100-handed giants. In gratitude, the masterful Cyclopes forged magnificent weapons for the gods. They gifted Zeus his thunderbolt, a weapon of immense power. They gave Poseidon his trident, which could command the seas and shake the earth, and they gave Hades his helm of darkness, which made its wearer invisible. With these divine weapons, the tide of the war turned. The Olympians, led by Zeus, finally triumphed. The defeated Titans were cast down into Tartarus, the deepest, darkest pit of the underworld, bound by unbreakable chains for eternity. And so, the reign of the gods began. To divide their new kingdom, the three brothers Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots. Zeus claimed the sky and the heavens, becoming the king of all gods. Poseidon took the seas and all the waters of the world, and Hades received the underworld, the realm of the dead. From his golden throne on Mount Olympus, Zeus ruled over both gods and mortals. He commanded the weather, wielded his thunderbolt with unmatched authority, and sent the eagle as his divine messenger. He was a god of justice, a protector of travelers who rewarded hospitality, but he also fiercely punished arrogance and oath-breakers. Zeus married his sister Hera, who became the queen of the gods and the protector of women in marriage. But Zeus's reign was marked by his many affairs with goddesses and mortal women, which brought his proud wife endless grief and fury. From Zeus and his many consorts came the next generation of Olympians. Athena, goddess of wisdom, the twins Apollo and Artemis, gods of the sun and the hunt. Hermes, the swift messenger. Ares, the god of war, Hephaestus, the divine smith, and Dionysus, the god of wine. Hera's jealousy burned like a fire. She relentlessly tormented Zeus's lovers and their children, with none suffering more than the hero, Hercules, whom she cursed with madness and forced to endure 12 impossible labors. Poseidon, lord of the seas, ruled from a magnificent palace beneath the waves. His moods shaped the oceans calm and serene when he was pleased, but a raging tempest when he was angered. He was worshipped by sailors, who prayed for safe passage, and feared by coastal cities. When King Minos of Crete refused to sacrifice a sacred bull to him, Poseidon enacted a strange and terrible revenge. He made the king's wife fall in love with the creature, and from their unnatural union, the monstrous Minotaur was born. Hades, the eldest brother, ruled the shadowy underworld. It was a vast, mysterious realm where the souls of the dead journeyed. They crossed the river Styx, ferried by the grim boatman Charon, but only if their families had placed a coin in their mouth to pay the fare. The entrance to the underworld was guarded by Cerberus, the fearsome three-headed hound. Within its borders were three distinct regions: the peaceful Elysian fields for heroes, the grey asphodel meadows for ordinary souls, and the dark pit of Tartarus for the damned and the fallen titans. Hades shared his throne with the beautiful Persephone, daughter of Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. But their union began with an act of violence. Hades had abducted her from a sunlit meadow and taken her to the underworld to be his queen. Demeter's grief was so profound that she refused to let anything grow, and the earth became a barren wasteland. Famine threatened all of humanity. Zeus finally had to intervene. A deal was struck. Persephone would spend part of the year in the underworld with Hades and the rest on earth with her mother. And so, the cycle of the seasons was born. Winter, when Demeter mourns her daughter's absence, and spring, when Persephone returns, bringing life and warmth back to the world. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, had a truly extraordinary birth. She wasn't born from a womb, but sprang directly from Zeus's mind. After suffering a splitting headache, Zeus had Hephaestus crack open his skull, and out emerged Athena, fully grown and armed for battle. She became the goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, and civilization, guiding heroes like Perseus and Odysseus with her counsel. When she and Poseidon vied for control of a great city, Poseidon struck the earth to create a saltwater spring, but Athena offered the people an olive tree, symbol of peace and prosperity. The gods judged her gift to be superior, and the city was named Athens in her honor. Ares, the god of war, was the embodiment of battle's brutal, chaotic, and bloody side. Few of the other gods liked him, though he carried on a scandalous affair with Aphrodite, the goddess of love herself. When her husband, the smith god Hephaestus, discovered them, he forged an invisible, unbreakable net and trapped the lovers in bed, exposing them to the ridicule and laughter of all the gods on Olympus, a moment of divine comedy that none would ever forget. Apollo, the radiant god of light, music, and prophecy, was one of the most revered gods. He slew the great serpent Python at the foot of Mount Parnassus and established his famous oracle at Delphi, where mortals could come to seek the wisdom of the gods. His twin sister, Artemis, goddess of the hunt and the wilderness, was his opposite in many ways. She vowed eternal chastity and fiercely protected her domain and her privacy, once turning a hunter named Actaeon into a stag to be torn apart by his own hounds, simply for catching a glimpse of her bathing. Hermes, born a trickster, grew up to be the swift and cunning messenger of the gods. He moved between the mortal world, Olympus, and the underworld, carrying divine messages and guiding the souls of the dead. And finally, there was Dionysus, the god of wine, ecstasy, and revelry. Born from Zeus and a mortal woman, he brought both joy and madness. His wild followers satyrs and maenads celebrated his power with frenzied festivals, representing the chaos that can always be found lurking within pleasure. Through these timeless myths, the Greek gods reflect humanity itself. They are capable of immense love, creativity, wisdom, and justice, but also of petty jealousy, brutal cruelty, and overwhelming ambition. They wage wars, fall in love, seek revenge, and dream of power just as mortals do. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder that even divine beings are not perfect. They are, in many ways, a reflection of us, timeless, flawed, and utterly unforgettable. This is how the world of Greek mythology was born, a journey from chaos to Olympus, from darkness to a brilliant, if turbulent, divine order. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the ancient world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more epic tales. We'll see you next time.